And it's the lovely Friday night, and welcome to this week's edition of the Late Night Show with me, Pacman, right here on this BMTV channel 114 on the Top Star Bouquet. You can also catch us live on our Facebook channel, on our YouTube channel, BMTV Zambia 114. 6 days to go before the elections. Campaigns have been going really well. Of course, we've had some, incidents of violence here and there, which I would like to condemn, to strongly condemn in the strongest terms possible. Please, let's not engage in any violent behavior or activities. There's no need. We returned to multipartyism in 1991. We've been having elections every 5 years. It's nice. Zambians were peace-loving. No one should come and lie to us and say, oh, no. We may be other things, we may be PhD, but peace, we love peace so much. And that's our, it's one of our biggest attributes. We're a peaceful nation. So where's all this violence coming from? So shame on you. Shame on those participating in violent behavior. Shame on those sponsoring this type of violence. So 6 days to our elections. Make sure you got your voter's card, your reg, and just go and vote. It's only next week. So please, I would like to wish us a peaceful elections. There was that incident at the show when Roberto was performing, and there was such a big boo, which also I think tried to also enjoy Roberto's performance. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, the show just ended this week. It was very, very nice show. I hope you had made your way there. Of course, we always encourage those who are facing the challenge of alcohol abuse with our partner, people affected by alcohol abuse, PABA. We would like to find out from you. Please, listen to this very carefully. Send me a WhatsApp. You don't even have to share your name or your details, but I would like to find out from you. We would like to find out from you as PABA. What led you to starting alcohol or to start abusing alcohol? Send me a WhatsApp. You can send me a WhatsApp on 0975 067 964. 0975 067 964. Send me a WhatsApp and share with me. I will share what you're going to share, but I won't share your personal details because we're trying to see what led some of you to start abusing alcohol. Because at PABA, we are looking at how this affects all of us. Because even if you yourself, you don't drink, but if someone who's abusing alcohol, they come in and they're drunk and you are affected. Anyway, we'll be right back after this, and we'll be with our guest for this week. And our guest for this week is none other than Clifford Mulenga. It's the Late Night Show with Pacman. BMTV. For 21 hours, perfect with the button. Pacman, my son, for Late Night Show now. Pacman, walk back. Welcome back, and of course, our guest is with us in the studio. Our guest for tonight is none other than AFCON 2012 winner, one of Zambia's greatest strikers, Clifford Mulenga, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Clifford, how are you doing, brother?
Good, thank you. I'm doing. How are you doing, big man?
Not too bad, not too bad. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thank you so much for joining us on the late night.
Pleasure being here. Thanks for having me, actually.
Yeah, so we've shifted from the actors, the singers, the musicians. Now we're going to the sportsmen, and specifically the champions, the ones who brought us the Africa Cup.
Of course.
Thank you so much. At least you made us so proud. Nice that we can say it came here.
Yeah, of course. It came home.
It came home.
Yes, it came home.
All right, so let's just go straight into it, Clifford.
Yes.
Tell us about your childhood. Where were you born? What was your upbringing like?
Well, my name is Clifford Mulenga. I was actually born in Kabompo, Northwestern Province. Yes. Yeah. My parents were teaching that side. Yes, and from Kabompo we moved to Nkumbi. Briefly in Nkumbi.
That's Mkushi.
That's Mkushi area. Yeah, yes. Then we came to Lusaka around about 1991, I think. Yeah, when my dad was just moved to the University of Zambia as a lecturer, where he is up to today. So basically, I was brought up in a lecturer's house. You know, both my mom and dad teachers. So grew up in a very, very humble home, very Catholic home. My mom is a very prayerful woman.
Yes.
And we just brought up in a lovely environment. We're taught to to love each other as siblings, love our friends, our cousins, and everyone. It's a very welcoming home.
Nice.
So yeah, and education was obviously
central
to our upbringing, and also church as well. As an altar boy when I was growing up, actually. Yeah. So along the way, of course, we diverted.
You diverted.
But otherwise, I was just a boy from the hood, Hansworth Park, Unza Mnali there.
Okay.
That's where I grew up. My parents are still there, and from there, moved to South Africa at a very young age, and and here I am today, 2026.
Share with us, so which schools did you attend? What kind of student were you? What type of subjects?
Yes.
Sort of piqued your interest?
I only attended one school in Zambia, which is Olympia. Olympia school in Olympia, where my mom taught, and I couldn't move from there because honestly, I was a little bit naughty, so I think my mom wanted me very close to her.
So she can monitor.
Yeah, she wanted to monitor me, so but not in a very bad way, not violent, but I was just a little bit naughty. You know what I was naughty, silly kid. Yeah. Made a couple of teachers cry, but otherwise I was a very good kid, very lovable. I always wanted to be the center of attention. So I'm very, I was very open-minded, very loud. I always wanted to participate. I was very sporty as well. I played football. I was probably one of the quickest kids in the school. Sports days were not fun when I wasn't around. So when I was around, it was always a hit.
But growing up, what type of career did you dream of pursuing?
So I was actually I was in the debates club when I was growing up, and I wanted to actually be a lawyer. That was one of my dreams. I wanted to be a lawyer, but obviously football was also something I really wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah, because my dad's a very big fan of Man U. So he had all these magazines of old, footballs, videotapes and stuff like that. Yes, and then I got to watch, later on I got to watch some videos of Diego Maradona.
Yes.
And I just fell in love with Diego Maradona. Then as I grew up, around about 1998, 99, I got to know Lane of Real Madrid. And there was a player there called Raul Gonzalez. And from that time, I just got hooked.
I
wanted to be Raul Gonzalez. I still have friends that still call me Raul up today. So football was my dream, but I also wanted to be a lawyer at some point in my life. And fortunately for me, a young brother has taken over that dream, and he's doing well in his law firm right now.
Oh, yes. That's very nice.
Yeah. Council Friday Mulenga.
Oh,
Junior. Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes. Yeah.
So were your parents and family supportive of your football journey then?
Yes, they were very supportive, because from a very young age, my siblings could actually see that I could play football. And my mom at school as well, because she was there. So all the sports teachers told my mom that you've got a god man here. This boy's a good player. And then I joined Chiparamba Great Eagles, which was an academy started by Nenani Banda.
Exactly.
And the later Rupia Banda as well. Yeah, but chairman, may his soul rest in peace.
Yes.
So they really pushed my career as well. My dad also fell into it as well, and was very, very supportive. And that's how my journey just kept on going.
But what type of challenges did you face early on in your football career?
There weren't many challenges. I think the only challenge was probably, it was the issue of school and academy, whereby there would be days where you'd have to miss school to go for training, and then those days around the early 2000s, that's when we started having these tournaments where teams would go to Norway, Sweden. So every child now wanted to be a part of those trips. So unfortunately, you'd have to miss school, and it would bring a bit of tension with the parents.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest things that was there. That's why even when I was moving to South Africa, the only way I actually moved to South Africa was because Taxa University actually sent a scholarship, a football and school scholarship for me. That's how my dad actually agreed for me to leave the country. Otherwise, it was like, you're only going to play football seriously when you're done with your grade 12. Yeah. Fortunately for me, I managed to get that scholarship to move to South Africa, and that's how I actually got to move that side.
So what was the first professional team that you ever signed for? And how did that opportunity come about?
So the first professional team that I would sign for, I won't say University of Pretoria, I would say Ogrute in Sweden. Yes. So Chiparamba Great Eagles and Ogrute of Sweden had the partnership. And before I went there, we actually had some players, Edwin Peary and Boyd Miller.
Yes,
Dominic Yobe had already gone to Sweden. So when I was at Tax Academy and said they are featuring for the national team, the team in Ogrute, Sweden said we want to also have it see this boy as well. So I went over for a trial, which was supposed to be a week. But fortunately for me, because of the talent that God gave me, I only actually trialed for 2 days.
Wow.
And immediately they were like, no, please go back to Africa, pack your bags and come back here. Yeah. So my first professional contract was actually with Ogrute in Sweden.
Oh,
yes.
Awesome. Yeah. What was your turning point, like sort of in your football career? Do you have like this is my turning point, like, wow.
Yeah. I was going to hope that it would have been my first AFCON in 2006 in Egypt. Unfortunately, just on the eve of the tournament, I got injured in training, and I had to miss that tournament. But luckily I recovered early, and then 2007 the qualifiers for the World Cup in Canada started. So we qualified for the AFCON Under-17 tournament in Congo Brazzaville, where I went and actually I think I did very, very well, and we qualified for Canada 2007, and I think that was the turning point in my career, because now I was drifting between the Under-20 national team and the the national team and the Under-20 national team. So it was a back and forth, but that was like the beginning of the big things that ended up coming in my career.
Wow.
Yeah. And one thing people don't actually know is that 2007 World Cup, a lot of people said, no, we watched you played very well. I wasn't even 60% fit because I actually played in that tournament with 3 broken ribs. Yeah, because I just played the national team game at Chila Wombwe, and I got injured in that game. The goalkeeper hit me in my ribs, but fortunately for me, I could still run, but I had to play like wrapped around with the So that kind of also hindered my
your performance.
My performance a little bit, but people didn't obviously know. But that was actually one of the things that I regret going to that tournament with that injury as well. But anyway, it was a good outing for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that you're an established, football player, one of our biggest stars that we have here in this country, do you ever think of going back to school to further your education?
So one thing that I've learned, like in the industry where we are, the jobs that we get, you actually get to learn and you get some certificates. So I've done my CAFC because I want to stay in the game itself.
Industry.
Yeah. So most of the things that I do, even just these online courses, they're all centered towards the football.
The football.
Yes, I'd wanted to go back and pursue the whole law that I wanted to do way back. But then I saw what my brother does, what he has to go through, and I realized the time, it's commitment. Then there's the Ziali as well.
Where only 3 people pass me.
So I told myself,
5,000.
let me stick to your sports management courses, your project management and that kind of stuff, because they still align me within the football, management and, those kind of areas.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you mentioned now, let's talk about the national team. When was your very, very first call-up to play for Chipolo Polo?
Yeah.
And how was it like? What happened? Share with us.
Yeah. I think it was way back in 2005, I think.
Yeesh.
It's a long time ago.
Yes.
But it must be around 2005, where I actually got to. It was nerve-wracking because you're growing up as a young player from the under 20, the under 23 national team, where I got to meet the Mbesumas, Christopher Katongos and them. We moved up with Kennedy Mweni and Felix Katongo and them, and then now. Isaac Chance and them were above us. But then above them, there was now your Harry Milanzes, that time Elijah Tanners, your Rodson Kilambes, so yeah. So
Wow.
so you get there and you meet these big guys and you're a young boy and these are giants of the game, and now you don't know what you're supposed to do, but they were very, very welcoming. Wow. The only funny experience was that, as a young player, you have to be first in everything, you cannot, you cannot find the big men outside. You have to be first out there. So I was on the bus and, I sat and I took a chair and sat down. And the big guys just came out, and they get on the bus and there's this young guy sitting there and he's never played for the team before, and they just give you that eye and okay. I'm sitting in the wrong place. Had to get off the bus and actually wait for them to go to the bus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, then you take the last seat and those were small come to us.
Yes.
You have to sit there until you end your strike.
On the bondix. But I mean, what did it mean to you? I mean, to wear the national jersey, our Copa national jersey. What did it mean to you? Just tell us, how did it feel at the time?
At the time,
For the very first time.
For the very first time. I would say I started wearing it from I was fortunate enough to get it from the under 17 national team. So I said under 17, under 20, under 23. I did all the grades of the national teams,
Yeah.
So by the time I was getting to the national team, I was a fully established professional. I was already playing in Sweden that time, and then I was in South Africa. So I was already known on the football scene. So for me, it was a proud moment. To play for the senior national team because now I know that the whole Zambia now is going to know about me. So it was very, very exciting. And I think my first game, the debut that I made was in the Kosafa Cup at Hoodland Stadium. In the Kosafa Cup where it was me, it was Rainford Kalaba coming onto the scene, and that time the jerseys were one size fit all. So you'd be given this big jersey that was worn by Harry Milanzi and you have to tuck it in. But it was a very proud moment. But one thing that I can actually say is that at that moment, it was an exciting moment, right? But when years went by and I looked back at it, that's when I actually got to realize that it was actually a huge moment for a young player. Because at that moment, social media was not that big, so there wasn't that, being posted all over the place, it was just, in the newspapers, you end up in the back page of the Post or the Daily Mail. That was our Facebook. When you're at that back page there, you're the man, so I think it was great. And then being at the back page, because I actually came on and created a goal for Collins and Besuma, and we won that game against Malawi. And so being on the back page there, I think for me, it was something.
It was something.
Yeah, and then being compared to the great Kalu.
Yeah.
That was now when you start to realize, oh man,
I'm here.
I'm doing it.
Wow.
Nafika manje on stage, So there was that extra excitement. But when I look at it now, I'm thinking it was actually more exciting than I actually felt. Yes, but it was a huge moment.
It was a huge moment.
Yeah.
Share with us, you guys, how does it feel to be in front of this massive crowd? What does it feel like? I would really love to.
Yeah.
What goes on in your mind? Is it just your mind and the ball and your teammates, or how does it feel? Is it electrifying? What's the mood like? I would really love to experience that, though.
No, I think you've had experience. I won't lie. I'm actually still sad. I was actually talking about it with my dad last time. I was telling him that, I respect Impali and everything. I love the show, but I don't think for me it would compare to Kabanana.
Kabanana.
Think about Matongo and Jason. Guys, I even told this Gen Z, you don't know what,
That's the day
those days, when you see Matongo, they are being silly. They're jealous of Jason. And, so you know what it feels like. You see all these people, people want to take pictures with you, they want to talk to you, people that you never thought would talk to you.
Yeah.
It's it's a different feeling, you know.
It is.
And for every boy child, I'll say it, you know, to get my ghetto to you know, you know, it was very, very exciting. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, you've been there. You pinch your bro.
But I mean, like when you're on the pitch, when you're during the game now, you're playing the game. I mean, how does it feel to have 60,000 people around you there?
You know that,
or if it's a hostile crowd or a home ground. How does it? That's the electrifying moment. How does it feel?
You know, the drums.
Yeah,
I know it's you know, when you feel like your stomach is empty, you know, like there's nothing here. That those butterflies, like, you know, when you're walking onto the pitch.
Yes.
From no appetite. You're in the hotel there, you boil food, your favorite chicken, but you can't eat. Then you go into this pitch there and you just see maybe a sea of blue or white in the stands and you turn around, you're like, oh man, this is the moment now. It's on, you know.
On.
And then if you're playing against these West African players, you know those guys are big. And you know, you just want to get going, you know, and but it's an honor, man.
It's an honor.
It's an honor. It's not something you can easily explain in words, but the feeling that you just get inside, it's great. It's a great feeling.
Who would you say is your closest teammate in the national team, like in Zambia? Who's like your closest mate?
Yeah.
And how did you guys become? What made that friendship special?
Well, from the top of my head, I would definitely say William Munjovu.
Okay.
Yeah, William, because we came from Chiparamba. We came a long way, and you know, even in training, like, you know, we'd push each other, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but I got to make quite a number of friends, you know. Given Singuluma, Shaka, you know, people would probably call him one of the greatest goalkeepers in Zambia's history. But for me, Kennedy Mwene was one of those guys that, you know, we would talk, and, you know, James Chamanga, Given Singuluma, Ichani Monde, you know, I think these are the guys the crew, you know, Davis Sinkausu, Collins Mbesuma as well. Yeah, but I think William is the one that I can say that this is like guy that became like family to me. Yeah. Roommate, and just even on and off the pitch, like just like brothers. Yeah.
Let's go into the 2012 AFCON. You guys now, you did us proud, man.
Yeah.
I'll shake your hand for that, Clifford.
Yeah.
You brought the cup home.
Yeah.
You know, we'd never, won the Africa Cup. You know, before that, I remember was 1974. I was 3 years old. I don't remember, but I know we went to the finals with the Congo, with the Zaire. That time, and from that time we always missed it by the whisker sometimes, you know.
Yes.
But 2012, finally, you guys brought it home.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're regarded as one of our greatest teams.
Yes.
You know, what do you think made that team so special?
I think unity, and we created a camaraderie among us. Like, you know, we were not just teammates. We became family.
Yes.
You know, like we understood each other, whereby even off the pitch would be together. You know, there was not whereby a person on a free time and you want to go and hang out. Like, even just in a free time, would call each other, bro, where are you? Would meet in a group, would hang out together, and this started actually from 2006, when Kalushabala took over, because he brought a lot of us from the under-20s, under-23 national team, and into the senior team. We grew up, we knew each other, you know, and we were at that stage whereby we could openly, you know, express our feelings to each other. We were open with each other, you know, we would advise each other, we would encourage each other, you know. And I think, you know, what makes a lot of groups stick is when you're honest with each other.
Yes.
You know, those like people would tell you, bro, but paboya takonzero usovela bro. Waona ka uluvyanya vyochita. Understand? There was that kind of you know, of and you know, it's very funny, but there was also Elijah Turner was phasing out at that time, and he would you know, you'd be playing around in training, and it sounded funny back then, and you'd be like, "Bamadam na basapula kunganda." And you already knew what he was talking about. You already got the message. So there was that thing whereby when it's time to work, it was time to work.
Yeah.
That is what. So from there, we just built it on. 2010, we were unlucky against Nigeria, but we were a group that said, guys, we are almost there. We were all breaking out into Europe that time, and we're thinking we can compete with these guys.
So
we watch them on TV. They're playing in bigger leagues, but when we're on that pitch, guys, we are one and the same. When Nigeria beat us in 2010 Angola after the fight, they were even surprised, like,
how did we do it?
You guys, they said they were lucky. Like one even put my beard and said, I cannot boy, and we realized that we are almost there, And come 2012, from when we went into camp, it was, that camp of ours was so serious. Like when you get into camp and you see the guys there, you even tell the guy that, boy, yalimba, yakosa, boy, no jokes up. You understand? So there was nothing like, there was no jealousy. There was the way we training, we kicking each other. No, we were pushing each other. Yeah. Everybody knew that we were together. Even when the team was being announced now to go to 2012 for the tournament, when the list was being announced, you could see people were like in tears. Like, you want to make the team, but you even knew that talk about boy, course, You understand? Like when you hear that when they start with the goalkeepers and then the defenders, when you hear the one name that has remained, you could see like, if I was the coach, I would have taken him, but Wamusia, which means what, okay, it's tough.
It's tough.
Well, like there were tears there was disappointment, there was anger, but one thing that we did not miss was wishing each other luck. Say, guys, you're going for everyone. You understand? There was no one that left with their queer. No. Yeah, there was disappointment, but it was a bro. Congratulations and all the best. Like good players were left behind.
Wow.
Like it was something else. So when we got on that plane to fly, you even knew that where I'm going, it's do or die.
Do or die. Yeah, I mean that team. To be honest, I mean that's why you were fantastic.
Of course.
But I mean, why do you think many members of that golden generation sort of stepped away from the national team around the same period after we won? But there wasn't much time, and then we saw most of them. They left. I mean, why do you think it was so?
So the way I would want to phrase it, I hope no one gets offended, but I feel like no one expected to win that tournament. We knew we could win it, but we just didn't expect to win it at that time.
At that time,
because even when the group was announced, we had Libya, Senegal, and the hosts. A lot of people expected Senegal to definitely get out of that group, and either Libya or the host nation, because we knew that it was going to be difficult playing against the host nation. But as a team, we believed that we could beat anyone. We believed we could beat anyone. But at that moment, to say, okay, this was till we in a tournament, it was difficult to say it like that. So I think the hangover of winning the tournament was not dealt with properly because there was the transition of the AFCON. It was being played every even year. Then it was transitioned to every odd year. So from 2012, it was going to be 2013, then 15. So the amount of time of rest between the winning time and the next tournament was not handled properly. You understand? So that is this is where we kind of lost it. Because now we went out to 2013 AFCON as champions. So that thing of whenever people see us, they have to clap for us. They have to, that's the mentality that a lot of players had. But people move on very fast.
Yes.
So the other teams didn't care whether they're champion or not. They also wanted that history. They wanted that trophy as well. So we went to that tournament thinking that we could do what we did back then. There were also a few faces that came into the team that I believe personally myself that we're not ready
to be
part of that level right there, because the transition was too quick. So yes, maybe some changes could have been made, or additions could have been made, but there were too many changes that were made. So I feel like had they allowed that same team to just continue for that transitional period, it would have helped. So you found that some of the guys that were left behind that did not participate in that 2013 AFCON, you could see that most of them drifted away. Immediately after that, they were done.
They were done.
You know, so for me, I feel like the transition was not done properly. You know, so it affected a lot of guys. And then after 2013 period, guys were still in the hangover of we just won the tournament. So your form starts to drop off. And from there, people just started phasing away. Then Renard left. A new coach came in. And as usual, you know, you want to do your own thing. So you want to start with your own thing. And then there's now the change. And for me, that is where even Zambian football kind of went deep.
No, it's true though. I mean, as a fan, we saw this thing.
Yes. So that transition was not handled properly. Yes, and it has led to the foundation that is there today, which is now still struggling. Yes.
We have one of Zambia's innovative strikers, 2012 AFCON winner, Clifford Mulenga. We'll be right back after this break. You're watching the Late Night Show with Pacman.
Yeah, but yes, this is your guy, your classic boy, Sweet Savage, Matthias Musumali in the building. You are watching the Late Night with Pacman on BMTV. Hey, watch some magic.
Welcome back, and of course, we are with the 2012 AFCON winner, one of Zambia's greatest strikers. This guy can do his thing on the pitch when you should see him. Clifford Mulenga. Clifford, in your opinion, what do you think is missing from the current Zambia national team right now so that we can compete consistently at the highest level? And then perhaps, don't you think it's time now we should also feature at the World Cup?
Yeah, I think it's been long overdue for us to feature at the World Cup, you know. But what I've noticed most of the time when I watch the current national team, there's a lack of desire, you know. Also leadership. I think, you know, I've seen like when games are tough, you don't get many players that will come out and actually show leadership, you know, to push the other players to go. I don't know how close they are as well. Because I come from a generation where we were actually very, very close.
Very close.
Yeah, we're not just teammates, but we're also colleagues or friends off the pitch as well. So I've seen like for this current generation, there's been a lot of changes as well. You know, there's not been a team that has grown together consistently.
Yes.
You know, so I think that is one of the things that has affected, you know, our football at the moment, you know. And these type of things are very easy to build. Yeah, you just need to have the right people in front. You know, for my generation, you know, we had Chintu Kampamba, we had Isaac Chansa, we had Christopher Katongo, we had Clive Chilensa. So these guys are the people that were in the forefront that led us, and we actually followed them, you know. But I feel like this generation, they don't have those type of leaders. Because when you look at the 74s and those eras, there were always players that are mentioned. You know, your Janice Mulambos, you know, your Jack Chanders. These are the guys that led the other players and others followed. You know, then they came the Kalusha Warriors, the Agri Chianges, you know. So this generation is kind of lacking a little bit of leadership that can steer them in the right direction. Say, guys, this is where we're going and this is where we're at right now. Yeah.
If you were to change one thing in Zambian football, what do you think that would be?
Well, I don't think it's one thing, honestly speaking. I don't think, you know, football has evolved so much. And I think one of the things that is also killing our football today is that the academies are not aligned. You know, back then the academies were very aligned, the schools were aligned. When you spoke of Chiparamba Great Eagles, you spoke of AfriSport, you spoke of EduSport, you know, where the Rainford Calavas came from, you for Tembos, you know, the Jacob Mlengas, you know, these academies were very much aligned. There was so much competition because the aim was to produce players that are going to play for the big teams and the national team. But when you look at the academies today, they are very satisfied with just producing one or two players that they can export and sell. You know, so academies have become more like businesses compared to development centers.
It's supposed to be necessary.
It's supposed to be development centers. So for me, if I was going to change anything, it would definitely be to align them to become a player producing, projects, because now you've got, Atletico Lusaka and Kafua Celtics. I believe today that these are the only, I think, academies or clubs that have produced players that are going to Europe. The other clubs are producing players for these two clubs, because these two clubs have got the pathways to Europe and the bigger markets. You understand? So most of these academies where the talent is coming from, you in the townships and all of them, they're just focused on finding players that they can sell
export
to get back some money in their pockets. So the development is not there anymore,
Strictly.
Dollars. Yeah. Then also the way football has evolved, I feel like we need to identify a group of coaches that should be in charge of youth football, strictly youth football. Because what's happening now is that you get club teams, the under 17 national team, for example, under 20 national teams, right? They get young players that are going to be coached by coaches that don't deal with young players. So the way that those coaches are trying to coach these young players is different from the way a coach who's dealing with youth players is going to coach them. So I feel like the FA needs to have a deliberate policy where you place strictly youth coaches coaching these national teams, because at the end of the day, this is youth development. You're not going to win anything with the under 17. And you're not even if you win the World Cup, it's a youth tournament.
Yes.
You understand? But now, so you need coaches that are going to develop these players to become great national team players, to become great club players. But it's not happening.
You've had some exchanges on social media with Ufasha and Sakala.
Yeah.
What has led to those disagreements?
Pachimbuya.
But have you guys, on a serious note, this is just Chimbuya, you guys have resolved this matter?
Look, I think social media is social media.
Course.
It's going to blow things out of proportion and stuff like that. You understand? I didn't mean to fight with him, and I also think he didn't mean to fight with me either. It was just one of those things that was just unfortunate that it was blown out of proportion. But otherwise, there's nothing major. There's nothing major there.
There was also there was also a rumor.
Yeah.
And the reason why you were chased from the national team is because Harvey Renard was dating your ex-girlfriend. How true is that? Zambia.
Who's that ex-girlfriend? Who's the ex-girlfriend?
That's a rumor.
No. That has got nothing to do with that. And me and Rena have actually never fought. Renard's decision was a very professional decision. Renard's decision was just to create some sort of statement in the club, in the camp to say, if certain people, regardless of who you are, there are certain, repercussions for certain behavior. And, I was one of the stars of that team.
Of course.
So he was trying to send out a message to say, I don't care who you are. If you don't do what I want you to do,
get out of line.
You're out of line. You're out.
You're gonna get whacked.
So it had nothing to do with any girlfriend or anything like that. No. Sometimes there's nothing to do with that.
You've been working as a football commentator during the AFCON. Fantastic stuff you've been doing. How did that opportunity come about?
Well, it started in 2023. I actually got a call unexpectedly. Someone called me and said, "Hey, there's the Chan Africa Cup going on in Algeria."
But you do it very well, though. It's like you've been doing it forever. It comes out so naturally.
So one thing that I'm an analyst, right? And one thing that I was told by the main commentator is that all you have to do is just explain the how and the why.
On the why.
Yeah. So whenever I'm watching football, I'm trying to see why and how is a certain thing happening, and that's what I need to explain. I don't have to talk about the history of the player, where it comes from, whatever. I have to explain why he's doing it and how he's doing it. So that part of the game I understand very well.
Yeah.
And I make sure, even when I'm watching just normal games, I'm listening to other commentators, because you pick up other things as well we don't. Even I was played football at the highest level. There were things that you are going to pick up that I wouldn't know. So I listened to the commentary as well. I listen to supporters. I just want to get a feel of what are they saying, and you try to put it together. Yeah. So even when I was in South Africa, just before I came back home, I used to get gigs where, I'd be asked to analyze the Premier League. So it started from there. So I was taught how to analyze the game, what to look out for. Then I also did some, talent scouting. So I'm able to tell, from a player's first touch or the movement to see, okay, what bowler, this one can improve, or this one, it will just be where he is right there like that. So, yeah, so it's a lot of training as well. But for me, it has also been a lot of, concentration and commitment, because...
I'm sorry I cut you short, but how did the opportunity come through? You said you received the phone call?
I received a phone call, and I was told there's an opportunity for you to go and do analysis at Chan. And I was like, when do I travel?
Wow. Because you could even see the dollar sign.
I was like, when do I travel? I've been looking for this opportunity. And they were like, before they said, would you be interested? I said, when do I travel? They were like, oh, okay, you'll get your details. So send us your passport. And I sent it, and within a few minutes, the air ticket had come, and I was on my way to Algeria. Yes. And I got there, and first day, I was very nervous because the stadium is packed, and it's my first time in this big stage. And the main commentator says to me, "Oh, remember what I said to you. Just explain the hows
and the whys,
and you're gonna be fine." And from there, it just flows out of me.
Wow. Do you see yourself though doing this, football commentary long term, including the local league?
I would honestly love to. For me, it's a passion. People have said that we want you to go into coaching, but I've never really seen myself being on the touchline, backing instruction and coaching. Maybe one day I'll do it, but I prefer being in the background, the administrative side. So I think this whole commentary analysis thing for me, it works just perfect. Yes.
Out of all the matches that you've played, obviously there must be one match which is like it just comes out and it's the one that always remains unforgettable. Which match is that, and why?
So, there have been a lot of matches, and there are actually games that people even tell me that I don't even remember I played in. They're like, but when was this game? But the one game that sticks in my head is we played Senegal, Chilabombo. It was a World Cup qualifier. That was 205, 206 that time. Yes, when we lost to El Hadji Diofko at Chilabombo that game, and I was brought in to replace my big brother Numba Mamba, and there was a right back called Ferdinand Colley, dreadlocks, played in England, I think, and I was given the ball. I don't even know what I did, and I just shook him, and he actually literally sat, and I put in a nice cross, but and we missed, but. That game was one game that's even today. People don't talk anything about my football career. They just go back to that moment.
That moment.
And also, what makes it special in 2012 when we played Senegal in our group stage. He was the team manager of Senegal. And so he came for inspection. There's always inspection before the game. And then he was reading out the Zambian national team plan, and he read my name out.
Then he remembered.
And then he did this.
The one who made me sit down.
So that also stuck with me to say, even he remember when he thinks of Zambia, he remembers Clifford Mulenga made me sit. So I think that game was one of those good games that I think, despite us losing, but it was a very good game.
Good, memorable.
Very good, memorable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who is the toughest opponent that you've ever faced? Like, in your opinion, club level, at national team level?
There's been quite a lot here. I can't remember some of them because you've played against Mali, played against Senegal. I really can't remember names of defenders. But one game that I think was very, very tough for me, and just for all of us, was when we got hammered in Togo. The 206 qualifiers. I think we lost 4-1 when the bye was just coming about. That game was just impossible. Like that game was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
Versus Togo.
Adebayo.
Yeah.
It was
crazy.
You're coming out for warm-up, and it's 45 minutes before the game, and you get out of the stadium, it's white. all white.
Hostile territory.
I think that already you're off form. I'm just thinking, what is that? And you know, the pitch was not the best of pitches, and they put some water, it became a bit muddy.
So that just to mess.
That game was a mess.
Wow.
Yeah, that one game that I always remember very well. It was not a good day for Zambia. Yeah, we've lost some other games, of course, we've been hammered, but that game.
That one.
Nah.
Is there anything that you regret about your football career?
You see, a lot of the things that we do in life, we do them knowing full well that there are going to be consequences.
Yes.
You know, even
Yes.
the whole 2012, us going out to drink a beer after we won, we knew the reason why we sneaked out of camp is because we knew it was not right.
Oh, I remember you guys snuck out of camp.
We snuck out. We snuck out of camp, you know, and you know, we went out, and I had a choice to stay in my room because I was actually on Skype when before I went out. I was actually on Skype. I was actually talking to my girl, you know, and we were chatting, and I was like, babe, then the guys want to go out and have a beer. We just want to celebrate. And she was like, oh, don't you want to talk to me? I was like, no, I'll give you a call when I get back. You know? So I'm thinking, should I just stay and continue talking to her and just told the guys, they can't you know? But I can't control it anymore. But I feel like it was a very bad decision to make.
Yeah.
You know, because we were also leaving the next day early in the morning to fly to Bata. So I felt like that moment in time, we did not advise each other properly.
Yeah.
Because we could have just stayed in and drank from
the
inside,
hotel.
like we were doing. But now we decided to just go out, and I think for me, maybe at that moment it was a wrong, regrettable decision, because it ruined my career actually.
Wow.
Yeah, though I had a chance to make up for it, but you know, at the back of your mind, I had a lot of opportunities to actually move to Europe. You know, there was Arsenal, there was Ward calling, and you know, wanted to have a look at me. And I felt like after that incident,
that's how
it closed. And even my own mind, I just told myself to say,
yeah,
you know what, yeah. But anyway, it's life. We moved on and hoping to inspire the next generation to say, guys, focus and everything should be
everything.
Yeah.
That I was actually coming to that. I mean, what advice would you give to young Zambian footballers who want to do it, who want to play professionally?
So the honest truth is that, you know, being excited is normal, but you can control excitement. And so even when I played in Europe, with the white boys. Sorry, I'm using the term the white boys, but they seem to know how to control themselves better than we do. You know, they're not about peer pressure. If we fall so much for peer pressure. Boy, it's 20 minutes. And this is the reality of things. And if you can manage to just control
the peer pressure,
that excitement, it will save you a lot of trouble. You understand? And also, we struggle with telling people to say, bro, no munga yo 9, sister line. So nzakupasa ka space. Or otherwise, tietika line. So we are going in the same direction.
The right
direction.
Yes.
We struggle with these things. That's why, from experience, you find yourself that sometimes you check a new, but you get bored, and you just think of the same people that you know are going to take you to rubbish. Guys, and this is happening. You understand? It's a terrible culture among Zambian footballers, and there's also a very bad drinking culture among Zambian footballers. You know, if we can deal with this terrible culture that is around, a lot of I'm happy with the way Patson Daka's handled himself. You know, Fashion Sakala, Clean Skangwa. There are a lot of young boys that are really handling themselves very well. I just hope that even the local players can follow in the same light to say, guys, you know, this culture needs to change. I feel like even the coaches themselves, they need to be in the forefront. You know, unfortunately, we've got a lot of coaches who have got a very bad drinking culture themselves. You understand? So sometimes you find same coaches drinking with girls. with their players, exchanging the same girls. You understand? So
how are you going to discipline?
You understand? So as a leader, you need to lead your players in the right direction. You know, but to the younger players, what I can just say to them is decide what you want to do. You know, you are very capable of putting off certain bad behaviors and sacrifice for a good life later on.
How would you like your football fans to remember you?
So for me, fortunate enough, you know, they say exposure is good. You know, I got exposed to a different life from a very young age when I moved to South Africa. Yes. You know, I didn't even know there was racism until I got to South Africa. You know, I didn't even know that it was a taboo to date a white girl until I got to South Africa. So I learned a lot of things, you know. And so what I want to just, you know, how would I phrase it? Just choose the life you want to live. Just choose for yourself. Yeah. And once you choose for the life you want to choose and start following it, the right people will come. You will find the right people. It doesn't matter where you are. As long as you've chosen a certain path that you believe is where you want to be, the right people will come. Will appear. Yes. So I want to be remembered as a guy that I fell, I rose, and I was able to openly tell people that it's very possible not to fall. You can actually live your life without going through any nonsense that we go through because you've chosen a good lifestyle. You know, I can give you a good example of a friend of mine that I talked to once in a while, Clifford Mulenga. Oh, yes. You know, this is a guy that, you know, is very level-headed. He's just told himself to say, I'm here. Yeah. I'm here.
Jacob is young.
James Chamanga. Yes. James Chamanga, he will come and he'll tell you, James. Back then, we would drink with him, you know, would go hang out with him in the car. But as he grew older, as he realized that I don't need these things. Today, for me, he's one of the best examples of a good role model in Zambian football. He's a guy that told himself, in a guyzi, it's okay. So I think there are a lot of people we can look up to. You understand? You know, Kennedy. I just hope that these guys could talk more to the younger players, you know, because I know most of them are on the quiet side. You know, your Stopira, they're all on the quiet side. But these are guys that a lot of youngsters should learn from. Yes. Zifake Panjila, we suffer from Kalamunjila Mwako. All the best. Yeah.
So what next after football? Obviously now done. Now you're doing commentary and this and that. What next? Are you doing any other businesses? Are you doing anything else out there?
Yeah. So for me right now, I was recently with Aguila Stars last season. Yeah, they're in the first division, but we parted ways. Okay. So now I'm just trying now to also now create now Ijanjila Yanga Manch. You know, I just want, there's a certain career path that I want to follow. I'm now doing a lot of consultancy. I'm wanting consultancy. Yeah. So I consult on a lot of things because I'm quite exposed, you know, for a lot of things. So I'm consulting. I've got young players that that call me asking for direction, and I'm putting them in the right path as well. Yes, and the next stage now is I want to just create a company that is going to be inclusive of a lot of things. You know, I want to follow that direction where I can actually work with swimmers, I can work with boxers, I can work with, you know, the corporate.
So you want to be like a sports consultant.
Sports consultant.
Encompassing everything. That's a good one.
Yeah. Because I love swimming, I love sport, but I know there are a lot of people that don't get that opportunity to just get connected in the right place. Yes. So I feel like, you know, if we're able to say, okay, this is wako muzanga wapa Sweden paja, but much go to swimming, I can connect you. You know, I want to be able to say, like, let me connect you. You understand? Because I think opportunities are not only in football, they're everywhere. So I want to be able to just be open-minded, just broaden my reach and just help out wherever I can help out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
As we close the interview, Clifford, any final word to the people of Zambia, to your fans?
Well, before I get there, is Kabana never going to come back? Singa put like a banana shape.
Mr. Thompson, should I share? But let's be on a serious note.
Yeah.
Let me just leave it there.
You leave it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to the people of Zambia, my brother Clifford, when he's asked the question, keep your eyes open.
Yes. yeah. So to the viewers out there, what I would like to say is that, you see, I'm still out here. I'm very, very reachable. I'm very flexible. And, they're free to ask me whatever they want to ask me. Actually, a lot of people always want to attach me to the 2012 saga. It's done, it's dusted, it's past. I know. Let us.
But I'm sorry to cut you short though. Let's stop this also. Just because someone made a mistake, then I even forgot about that. I just remembered because you said it. You snuck out. That's when I said on the part of regrets. To be honest, like me, I'm a Zambian citizen as well. I was aggrieved as well. It's my national team.
Yeah, of course.
But I forgave you guys long time ago. I know what it is when you're young, this and that. It was a mistake. So I think as Zambians, we should learn to remove these tags. People make mistakes, but they always make up. A lot of people, some are stubborn, but a lot of people make up and they become even better people because of those mistakes.
Yeah, that's true. So I just hope we can just find the common ground and say the next generation.
Yes.
Where are they going? How can we help them become the best that they can be? It's what I am now interested in.
Yes.
Other than that, it's either or you just leave me alone. Simple as that.
Thank you very much, Clifford. I mean, it was so nice to have you on the Late Night Show.
Sure.
Hey, that was our guest for today, 2012 AFCON winner, one of Zambia's innovative strikers. This guy, remember when he's on this, he made the guy sit down on the pitch. That was our guest. Our guest for today, of course, was none other than Clifford Mulenga, one of Zambia's best strikers. The guy, when he's doing his thing on the pitch, he made the guy sit down in the stadium. Clifford Mulenga, thank you so much. Make sure you catch us again next week at the same time. You've been watching The Late Night Show with Pacman, BMTV channel 114. Ciao bella!